Welcome dear students in the online class of physics. Today we have taken chapter number 9, current electricity. According to the reduced syllabus, topics omitted in your syllabus are resistance R from Ohm's law, V upon I equals to R, insulators and conductors, efficient use of energy. Our first topic is sources of direct current. Direct current is a current of constant magnitude flowing in one direction. And this direct current is provided by the cells. We are familiar with cells used in a torch to light up its bulb. These type of cells produce direct current. In a cell, chemical energy changes into electrical energy when it sends current in a circuit. So a cell basically consists of a vessel containing two conducting rods called the electrodes at some separation, placed or immersed in a solution or jelly called the electrolyte. Cells are of two kinds, primary cells and secondary cells or accumulators. Primary cells. These cells provide current as a result of irreversible chemical reactions. These are use and throw type of cells which are discarded after use, when the entire chemical energy in them has converted into electrical energy. These types of cells can be used only one time. The example of these type of cells are simple voltaic cell, Leclanché cell, Daniell cell, Debye cell, etc. Secondary cells or accumulators. Secondary cells also provide current as a result of a chemical reaction. But in these cells the chemical reaction is reversible and so they can be recharged after use. During charging, electrical energy converted into chemical energy and gets stored in the cell. These cells can be used for a long period because they can be recharged again and again. Lead or acid accumulator and NiFe or alkali accumulator are the two types of secondary cells. These cells are also called storage cells. Electric current as rate of flow of electric charge. We all know that when two bodies are rubbed together, they get charged due to the transfer of electrons from one body to another. The body which gains electrons is called negatively charged body, while the body losing electrons gets positively charged. So we can say that the flow of electrons from one body to another is called charge. And this flow of charge or flow of electrons constitutes an electric current. Thus current flows due to the motion of charges. So the current is the rate of flow of charge across a cross section normal to the direction of flow of current. If charge Q flows through the cross section of a conductor in time t, then current I equals to charge Q upon time t. Current is a scalar quantity. If n electrons pass through the cross section of a conductor in time t, then total charge passed Q equals to Ne, where E is the charge on one electron, and current in conductor I equals to Q upon T equals to Ne upon T. If in an electrolyte the number of positive ions is N1 and the charge is Q1 and N2 is the number of negative ions and charge is Q2, then the total current will be equals to I equals to N1 Q1 plus N2 Q2. The conventional current is in a direction opposite to the direction of motion of electrons. Suppose this is a circuit diagram of a circuit. Here these two lines represent the battery and this is the resistance R. Since electrons are negatively charged particles, so they will flow from the negative terminal to the positive terminal of the body. So the direction of electrons will be like this. So the direction of current will be taken from positive to negative. That is the opposite direction of flow of electrons. So the direction of current will be from positive terminal to the negative terminal. The SI unit of current is ampere. Symbols used in circuit diagrams. Number one, source of current. There are two types of current sources, alternating current AC and direct current DC. And this is a symbol used for AC source. To represent the DC cell, we use two vertical lines of unequal lengths. The longer line represents positive terminal and the shorter line represents the negative terminal of the cell. When a strong current is needed, either we join a number of cells together in series. So this is represented by the battery, like this. Key. It is used to put the current on and off in a circuit. It may be either a plug key, a switch key, or a tapping key. When the key is open, the circuit is incomplete and is called an open circuit. When key is closed, current flows through the circuit and it is said to be closed circuit. A tapping key is used when current is momentarily needed in the circuit. So, when key is open, the plug key, switch key and tapping key is symbolized by these symbols. And when key is closed, plug key, switch key and tapping key is symbolized by these symbols. Rheostat. A rheostat is a device by which resistance in a circuit can be varied continuously. It is used to adjust the magnitude of current in a circuit by changing the length of resistance wire included in the circuit. This is the figure of a rheostat. When rheostat is used as a fixed resistance R, connections are made with the terminals A and B. When it is used as a variable resistance, the connections are made between the terminals C and with the terminal A or either B. Rheostat is used as a smoothly varying resistance. These are the symbols for the fixed resistance wire, and variable resistances, that is rheostat. Resistance box is provided with several standard resistances, say 1 ohm, 2 ohm, 5 ohm, 10 ohm, 20 ohm, etc. Ammeter. An ammeter is an instrument used to measure the magnitude of current flowing in a circuit. This is the symbol for ammeter. An ammeter is connected in the series in that circuit, and its positive terminal is connected with the positive terminal of the battery, and the negative terminal is connected with the negative terminal of the battery. Voltmeter. A voltmeter is shown in the figure and it is used to measure the potential difference between 2 points of a circuit. It is connected across the 2 points between which potential is to be measured. It is symbolically represented by the letter capital V and closed in a circle. Galvanometer is used when we want to detect the presence of very weak current in an electric circuit or to know only the direction of flow of current in a circuit. It does not measure the magnitude of current in a circuit. It is symbolically represented by the letter G and closed in a circle. Load. An appliance which is connected in a circuit is called a load. It may be just a resistance, bulb, heater, etc. or a combination of different electrical components. It can be represented by the symbol L. For bulb, the symbol is this, and the heater, it is represented by this symbol. Connecting wires. These are the wires used to connect various electrical components. They are made of highly conducting metals such as copper or aluminium, so that they are of negative resistance and do not change the resistance of the circuit. Connecting wires are represented in a circuit diagram simply by a line. Simple electric circuit. Simple electric circuit diagram you can see in this figure. In this diagram we have contained cell, switch and a bulb, which is the load for the circuit. As the switch is closed, a current flows through the bulb and the bulb glows. The direction of current is from positive terminal to the negative terminal. This figure illustrates another simple electric circuit in which various components are the cell, key, rheostat, bulb or load, voltmeter and ammeter. It is clear that the ammeter, cell, key and rheostat are all in series with the bulb, while voltmeter is connected in parallel across the bulb. The path along which current flows is called a circuit. Current flows only if the circuit is complete or closed. If the circuit is open or incomplete, current does not flow. Here you can see three figures. In the first figure you can see that bulb is glowing. and all the terminals are connected with the connecting wire. So this is the complete circuit. In the next part, you can see that bulb is not glowing and the circuit is broken. This is called incomplete circuit. And here you can see that terminal A is connected with metal wire with the load, but the terminal B is connected with a thread, which is an insulator or non-conductor. Hence bulb is not glowing and it is called incomplete circuit. In this figure we can see that we are having two bodies. One is uncharged conductor, means it's not having any charge, and one is positively charged conductor, that means it has lost the electrons. So here both the bodies are connected with the metal wire, and the direction of flow of electrons is from B to A, because it's having deficiency of electrons and it is having higher concentration of electrons. This movement of electrons continues till both the conductors have equal concentration of electrons. In this second figure you can see that an uncharged conductor is connected with the negatively charged conductor with a metal wire, and the direction of flow of electrons is from A to B, since negatively charged body is having higher concentration of electrons in comparison of uncharged conductor. And this process continues till both the conductors have equal concentration of electrons. Here in this third figure you can see that a positively charged body is connected with a negatively charged body. Negatively charged body is having higher concentration of electrons and the positively charged body is having lower concentration of electrons. Hence the flow of electrons is from higher concentration to the lower concentration, and this process continues till there is equal concentration of electrons in both the conductors. So from above these three examples, we have concluded that when two charged conductors are joined by a metallic wire, free electrons flow from a conductor having higher concentration of electrons to the conductor having lower concentration of electrons, and the movement of electrons stops when concentration of electrons in both becomes equal. In our daily life experience, we know that water flows from the higher pressure to the lower pressure, as you can see in this figure. Similarly, if two bodies having different temperatures, means one body is on higher temperature and other one is on lower temperature, so the direction of heat of flow is from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. In a similar manner, when two charged conductors are joined by a metal wire, the direction of flow of electrons is determined by a quantity called electric potential of the conductor. A conductor having an excess of electrons is said to be at a negative or lower potential, while a conductor having a deficit of electrons is said to be a positive or higher potential. So we can say that the flow of electrons is from lower potential to higher potential, since higher potential is having deficiency of electrons and lower potential is having excess of electrons. And since the conventional flow of current is taken opposite the direction of flow of electrons, then the flow of current is from higher potential to the lower potential, and that is the reason behind that in a battery or a cell we take the direction of flow of current from positive terminal to the negative terminal. We know that like charges repel each other while the unlike charges attract each other. And to create an excess or deficit of electrons on a point, we have to done some work in moving the charges against the forces between them, whether they are repulsive forces or attraction forces. The force between the two charges is zero when they are at infinite separation. Hence, quantitatively, potential at a point is measured in terms of work done in bringing a charge Q from infinity to that point, and if work W dash is done in bringing a charge Q from infinity to a point, then potential at that point is V equals to W dash upon Q. Potential is a scalar quantity and the SI unit is joule per coulomb or volt, and the symbol is capital V. Similarly, the potential difference between two conductors is equal to the work done in transferring a unit positive charge from one conductor to the other conductor. If W is work done in transferring a test charge from Q from one conductor to the other, the potential difference between them is V1 minus V2 equals to W upon Q. So dear students, here we have completed the chapter current electricity. Study the chapter properly and solve the numericals. They are very easy. And if you are having any problem, you may ask me. We'll meet in the next chapter. Till then, take care.